Ladies and gentlemen, Blessed Mothers. Hi, welcome to Entre, Nosotros on CCPTV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. I'm your host, Gilberto Gonzalez. My guest today is Joey Ayala of Philadelphia from the band Blessed Mothers. Welcome, Joey.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with a little bit about your background, like your parents. How did they come here to Philadelphia? Did you grow up here in Philadelphia?
My parents came to Philadelphia from Puerto Rico around, it was either the 50s or the 60s, the late 50s or the 60s. And I did grow up here. There were three brothers, three sisters, and my two oldest brother and sister were born in Puerto Rico. The rest of us were born here in Philly.
Well, so you grew up in South Philly, North Philly?
Best of both worlds, if you want to say that. Yeah, we when we first moved here, well, should I say my parents, it was in South Philly. And then at an early age, I was, I guess, in first grade, we moved to North Philly. Mm-hmm. And we lived there for a good 15, 20 years, and then we moved back to South Philly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was there music in your family? Like when you grew up, did you listen to Spanish music?
My parents are older. So they listened to a lot of Latin music, that country, like Jibaro stuff. You know,
Oh,
my
yeah?
dad's friends used to, you know, they'd get together and play. They have the straw hats and, you know, the cuatros and stuff like that. So yeah, and all the family functions, you know, there was always Latin music playing and people dancing. So.
And they had parrandas?
Yeah, I used to go around, knock on the doors and get the rum.
Oh,
You
yeah?
knock on the door, they invite you in, give you shots of rum, and you play for a little bit, go on to the next one.
Was there any conflicts because of your culture, or was there any?
Not in South Philly too much. Like I said, I was younger when I first lived in South Philly. You know, I used to hang around with the Italian kids, the mobsters' sons. That, you know, that's what was all down there. I grew up right at 9th and Christian, the Italian market. I used to live right across the street from Palumbo's restaurant.
Okay.
And when I moved to North Philly in the 70s, it was all white. It was all Irish and Italian. And, you know, it wasn't until the late 70s that it started getting more Hispanics and other, you know, nationalities there. And then, you know, I did catch some flack there, you know, because I was like one of the first and only punk rockers that walked around there. You know, I had a mohawk, and, you know, they never saw stuff like that down there. So it was challenging to walk around and try not to get messed with.
What led up to Blessed Mothers?
I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and when I got clean, I was bored. I was really bored. It was me and this kid Steve, and we were going to meetings, and we were at coffee houses all the time, and we were like, there's got to be something more to being clean than just this.
Right.
So we were like, let's start a band. And like that week, we just started writing songs, you know?
Wow.
And then maybe about a couple months before our first show, Steve got diagnosed with cancer, and
wow.
he was only like 20 years old, and he never even got to play. He died.
Sorry, man. You're right.
Yeah. But that's how it started. So Steve was
Wow.
a big influence.
It was kind of like part of the healing process, you know, recovering from the abuse and stuff like that, the drug abuse. And
Yeah. It still is. It still is. It's just like therapy for me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Music does have healing powers. I believe.
Not that. Was that the name of the band that always, like, Blessed Mothers?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like,
we felt we were blessed to still be alive.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Wow, it's true. I mean, it's true, because growing up in North Philadelphia, it's, you know, and you grew up in the 70s, and that was actually probably between the 70s and the 80s where, you know, drugs really impacted all of North Philly. I mean, because, you know, jobs left. You know, there really wasn't kind of like another industry for Latinos to work in.
Yeah, it was when Jimmy Carter let the undesirables over. It seemed like the whole neighborhood got flooded with cocaine.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Back then, you used to leave your doors open.
Yeah. So cool. So now, and you said the other band member was Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
And he passed away of cancer.
Yeah.
And did he play instruments? Was he a singer, a writer?
He was just very talented. Like, he didn't really know anything about the type of music we were playing, punk rock. I kind of turned him on to that. He was more into like metal, like new metal. But soon as when I started turning him on to this music, he really drew to it and liked it, and he started writing songs like he knew it. Like, you know, it wasn't a struggle for him at all. You know,
Wow.
I mean, he played bass for us at one time, and he played drums. He switched. He started out as the drummer, and then we had gotten another drummer, and he moved over to bass.
Wow. So, like, you grew up in a family that, I mean, your father played the Cuatro?
Cuatro, yeah.
I think you said one of your uncles.
He played and he made them.
'em?
Yeah, I used to go in the cellar and I used to see the guitar parts hanging in the cellar. He had them glued and drying.
Really?
As a kid, yeah.
And he made them here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he used to make them in the cellar. Yeah.
Wow. So now, how do you go from Cuatro, Jíbaro music to punk rock?
Well, growing up, my brothers and sisters listened to everything that was, coming out in the 60s and 70s, the British invasion, the Beatles, the Stones, and so, that's was my upbringing, listening to rock and roll, was through mostly my brothers and sisters. I mean, and, so, I was watching all the Dick Clark and all those shows and the Beatles, Twist and Shout, it's it's just so catchy.
Right.
Okay, here we go, La Bamba, Richie
Right.
Valens. I used to sing that song over and over and
Really?
over.
Wow.
And my brother and my cousin used to play it all the time on guitar, So it's just what was around my house all the time,
Your house was just like all kinds of music.
Yeah,
eclectic.
yeah, pretty much, yep.
What musical groups or bands like influenced you from a little bit to a lot?
It always starts with the Beatles and the Stones, you know what I mean? But, as I got older and I start listening to other different musics, alternative music started, to come around. I started listening to punk rock, the Clash. I went to see the Clash over at Penn Rink. A friend of mine brought me, and I didn't know what to think of it. Like the music I liked, but the people were pretty weird to me. I was scared. You know what I mean? And then, he took me to some other shows. He took me to see the Ramones and B-52s at the Philadelphia Zoo, and then from there, I just emerged in it. I met other people and I started getting into more underground stuff. But it seemed more, I don't know how you can say it, more authentic, more real. It seemed like the people were putting more into it. It's kind of like the early blues music. If you listen to real early blues, there was no sharpness in the music. It wasn't all polished. You know what I mean? It was like real, just raw. Like the timing was off, stuff like that. But they put a lot of heart and soul into it,
Wow.
So, that's what, punk and garage music, the Stones, the Beatles, the Ramones, it all ties in. It's all, it's all rock and roll.
So we're gonna play one of your songs right now, "Shake Out Your Pants," and tell me a little bit about it before we start.
Yeah, that one, that was actually influenced. I was just sitting at home playing guitar, and Steve came over like a day or two later. I'm like, Steve, you gotta hear this. And it was influenced by a well-famous, he's considered the godfather of punk rock, Iggy Pop. He had a song called Tight Pants. So I kind of had that in my head, and I started playing it. And, I almost used some of the same chords from one of his songs.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I, came up with that song.
All right, cool. So here we have it. "Shake Out Your Pants."
Give me a rip, another harmony.
Are there other Latinos doing this? Because to be honest, I don't know of any other. Well, there's only one other Latino, and you might know her. She goes by the name of Titi. She plays guitar or something like that.
I'm not familiar with her.
But yeah, I don't know too many Latino punk rockers in Philadelphia.
No, there's not many rock and roll in Philly anymore. You know, not even white people listen to rock and roll anymore in Philadelphia. They listen to rap, you know.
Oh, wow.
It's, I think rock and roll left Philly when Dick Clark took American Bandstand out west.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Wow.
But if you go to Los Angeles, you go out west, there's lots of them. Lots of Hispanics, a lot of Mexicans. You go to Spain, you go to Europe, they love it over there, you know? It's just here, it's not.
So you've played in Europe?
No, I'm just familiar with it. You know, I've went to punk festivals in Las Vegas. I went to California, and I couldn't believe it. You know, I'd see them; they were all they'd be there.
Latinos enjoying.
Yeah, a lot, mostly Mexicans. A lot, you know, but Hispanic, you know, Puerto Ricans too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I mean, you go to Chula Vista, California. There was a all Mexican punk band out there in the '70s called the Zeros. They're still around today. We played with them here in Philly. Their older brother played in, I think, Malo, Santana's brother's band. Oh, wow. Yeah, they come from they come from a long history of musicians. Sheila E. is their niece. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, they're still around today. They're all Hispanic.
And
yeah, we played with them at the M Room several years ago.
What other musicians have you played with?
We've played with lots of bands. We played, you know, punk bands, hardcore bands, garage bands. Mostly now we play with more like garage bands. Garage music has made a comeback, and I like that type of music.
Mm-hmm. No, there's a drummer that you mentioned to me earlier. Remember?
Oh, Lisa. Oh, yeah. We played with Lisa's band. That was our last show, actually. Lisa Cortez. She's in New York. She's from Philly. She played in a lot of punk bands in Philly, and she has like 2 different bands she plays in right now. I know she's going out to tour in Europe. But she had the #1 song last year on Little Steven's Underground Garage. It was called You're My Brian Jones, which Brian Jones is the guitar player from the Rolling Stones who died years ago. Mm. But yeah, Lisa, good drummer.
And she's from Philadelphia.
She's from Philadelphia.
Have you played like in New York or Delaware or any?
Yeah, we played Delaware a lot. We played New York once. It wasn't too fun.
No, why?
Because it's a long ride, and you didn't even get paid money for gas or tolls, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
How was the audience?
It was a bad setup. Like, you walk in, there's the bar, and a big, long hallway, and the stage is all the way back there. Oh. So it's nowhere near. People, you know, they're not leaving the bar. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he pretty much played to nobody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, and the experience in Delaware was a little bit.
Oh yeah, Delaware. We had fun there. Yeah.
And how's the audience? How's the audience receiving you in both places, Philadelphia and Delaware?
Philly, good. I mean, you know, they're our friends, and they're, you know, we play with other bands, so you know, it's their fans too. We kind of, you know, there's certain bands we play with more often. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of a clique type thing. I don't want to use that term, but. And so, you know, that crowd's always there. It's automatic, you know, whether we're playing with the Improbables, you know, their crowd's going to be there, our crowd's going to be there, you know, and whoever else is on the bill. Mm. And same in Delaware. In Delaware, we had built up a bit of a following there, you know, for a while there's people coming out to see us all the time. Then, you know, it kind of slowed down. You play there too much, you're like, I saw that act already, you know.
So are you continually coming up with new material, fresh material?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of new songs, and I've been having such a hard time trying to record it again, because we recorded roughly about 7 months ago, and it was a disaster. So kind of had to scratch the tracks, and then we just got rid of a couple musicians, and right now we're kind of not even playing and rehearsing. You know, we hope to come back in the spring, and then try to get this recording. You know.
How many members are in the band now?
Right now we got me, we got Joe Peterson on guitar, who was here before. We got Raj, who was here before. We got another new guitar player, Chris Unrath, he was in one of my favorite Philly bands called Hell and Back and the Straight Razors. And right now we don't have a drummer. We have a couple people that said they're very interested in playing, but you know, I just got some personal stuff going on now that I don't have time to rehearse or funds and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a hiatus for a couple months, and then we hope to regroup, get the songs tight, and then get back into the studio again.
So would you say Blessed Mothers is a Philadelphia staple?
Yeah.
It's like you guys are
Yeah.
rooted in this. You guys are a Philly band.
Yeah, that's where we started. That's that's where I first got into the punk scene here. So,
Joey Jap, how did you come up with that name?
Well, growing up in North Philadelphia, they used to tell me that I looked Chinese, so they would call me Chino. And if anybody that grew up in North Philly knows, there's a million people named Chino. So yeah, yo, Chino. You have about 10 people turn around. You know what? So I was like, don't call me that. I was like, just call me Jap. Because that was my initials anyway, Joseph Anthony Perez. And no one had that name. So that's how.
Wow, so you've kept it all these years, Joey Jap.
Yeah. And it's just my initials. People always ask me too, how did you come up with that name? I'm like, well, I was born with it.
So right now, we're gonna listen to another song by Blessed Mothers called "The Blessed Thing."
We got no skill. Adolescent business from the same old man. Playing rock and roll's how we get off the roof. We got no aspirations, we got no wills. No. No, 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 no. Oh. No, 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 no. Oh. No, 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 said no. No, 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 no. Oh. No, 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 no. Oh. No, no, no. Say we're the cream of the crap. We ain't good looking, it's a matter of fact. We all fell for
So the blessed theme, where did that idea come from? What is that? What is that song?
Tell you the truth, I don't know. I was just banging on the guitar, at home like I always do. And when I write songs, I always write from a melody, something I'm humming in my head. And I was humming something, and I need words, and I just started coming up with some words, and it went from there.
Cool.
It's a song of degeneration, so outcast, stuff like that. But
cool.
I usually try to throw some good stuff in there too, some positive stuff. I don't know, try to make it all negative,
So a happy outcast.
Yeah. I always try to have a good ending, you know. So.
All right. That's all the time we have for today. I would like to thank my guest, Joey Jap, for joining us today. I would like to thank you for tuning in. You have been watching Entre Nosotros on CCPTV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. I'm Gilberto Gonzalez. See you next time.